Welcome, Historians. Have you ever wanted to know the sad backstory behind Chuck E. Cheese?
Or why Blake V was so bad?
Then Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries is the podcast for you. Join host Austin and Brenda on a rollicking journey through obscure nerdy topics.
Be updated with new episodes every Wednesday. Find us wherever you get podcasts.
Beep, beep, boop.
You know things, I know some too. Sit right down, the femsplain them to you. If there's a thing you want to explain, these two feminists can entertain. Nerdy stuff, sexy stuff, so much to know. Tune in for the Femsplain Show.
Femsplain!
We did it.
I just spent $60 on flowers. I don't know why.
Why? For yourself?
Like,
For a person?
seeds.
For what?
Like planting.
Oh, like flowers for a garden.
Yes.
Not like a bouquet.
Correct.
Okay. So that's not for no reason. That's to make a garden.
Thanks. Now that I've hit purchase, it feels like it's for no reason.
No, it's to enhance the beauty of your living space.
Well, thanks. My therapist no-showed on my appointment this morning, and now it feels
that's
like
why you did it.
This was probably more than I would have gotten out of that.
Yeah. No, when your therapist no-shows, you're actually entitled to make a giant purchase.
Well, when I no-show, I have to give them $100. So I'm assuming that they owe me $100 now. And so, if anything, I've profited by 40.
Yeah, you're gonna get $40.
Nice. And some flowers.
And a bunch of flowers.
Cool. Got a little bit of anxiety.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Not me, though. I'm normal. I got a healthy brain with no
Nice.
problems inside.
No problems.
Zero. Avalon, we're doing a podcast.
Are we still doing that?
Yeah, we are. It's because I won't let you go.
That's okay.
You're trapped.
I don't want to be let gone.
Good. Well, this podcast is called Femsplained. For the co-hosts and people in the audience who forgot what Femsplained is, Femsplained is a nerd podcast in which two queer human beings, Avalon and Diana, talk about our nerdy interests.
Oh. I got a little bit of the old talking rust.
Yeah, I forgot how to talk.
I forgot how to talk.
We're going to have a little episode 1 energy.
It's true. And fortunately, podcasts are a visual medium, so it won't rely too heavily upon the content of my speech.
So, you know what? I think there's been a lot of time. So before we start talking about what our episode's going to be about, I think we should do a nerd culture wrap up. What's nerd culture-y stuff?
I mean, so much. So I'm going to try not to talk about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, well, the thing I was going to talk about, I just realized is a homework episode. So we're not going to talk about that.
Good. Good.
You're going to go first.
Okay. Yeah, I got lots of good nerd stuff going on right now, and I'll talk about that because I can't remember anything that happened more than 2 weeks ago right now. But right now, I think my 2 favorite nerd things that are happening, actually, I'll do 3. 1, Legends of Vox Machina is out. All of the episodes are out now. We have watched all except the very last one, the finale.
Let's just talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's first 3 episodes a little slow and rocky. And then from there on out, it's just fucking banger after banger. And yeah, it's really beautifully animated. It's really fun and nostalgic to see these characters on a screen. And I love every voice actor that they brought in from outside the crew. I think that they cast like stunning people for these roles. So yeah, I'm just loving that. I also like telling Marty about it while we watch it. I'm sure it's very annoying, but it's very fun for me to give it a little pop-up video style commentary.
I have a question for you.
Go for it.
How would you feel about this cartoon if it was fully standalone?
Fully standalone, meaning the AP never happened?
Yeah. You have no context for it.
I would probably still like it. I think that without the AP happening, episode 1 would be really confusing for me. But I think I would still like it. Because it is still, nerdy and weird, and I like cartoons for adults.
So.
Okay.
I think that it is a fair choice that this was a passion project for the fans and the backers. And so to assume that people have the added context of character development and all of that, I think that's fair.
Totally.
However, I genuinely think that a little bit more effort could have gone into embracing new viewers.
Yeah, I think what I would have loved, although who knows, maybe they'll do this if they get picked up for a season 2. But I would have loved like a little bit more pre-Briarwoods to get us started. And I know that's tricky because everything pre-Briarwoods involves a person that doesn't exist. But I mean, they did a lot of rewriting and clever stuff. I think they could give us a little group backstory. Even if it was just like send them on one little adventure that together that like doesn't have big consequences or stakes. Something to like give me a little more Vex Vax like interactions, a little more Keyleth Percy stuff, like just so that I can understand.
There's been no Keyleth Percy stuff.
There's been a little bit in like 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
had some of the, but they did give like they did kind of take away from the fact that the person who like was most concerned about Percy, the first person to be concerned about Percy and like the most concerned was always Keyleth from like the start. And that didn't quite come across, which is like that definitely like sells their friendship on like a deeper way. Yeah.
Let's talk about the gratuitous adult content.
I mean, it's gratuitous in episode 1. I don't think it's gratuitous after that. Genuinely.
Yeah. I would agree with you, except I just this morning watched the episode where there's a ton of like someone shitting. And I was like, well, all right, here we are in episode 8 or whatever the fuck, and I'm seeing this much poop come out of someone's asshole. Like, why is this happening? Who is this for? This content wasn't on the actual play.
Yeah, I think they could have squeezed in a little flashback instead.
Yeah, like give me like maybe a little bit of a passing of gas to let me know that Scanlan found this guy on the toilet, but like don't have him stand up and several turds visibly fall out of his butt. Like, why?
That was a very
upsetting,
interesting choice.
And I'm trying to imagine the writer's room, because you've got all these, like, Vox Machina behind-the-scenes shows that they've released in little videos. I'm like, what? Who was missing on that day in the writer's room?
Or is Sam Riegel in charge back there?
I don't know. I feel like maybe that day, like, just Brian W. Foster was sitting in, and they thought that he couldn't do any harm. And he spent $1 million of the Kickstarter funds on these turds.
On just turds. I think that it's safe to say that I feel comfortable blaming for him for anything in the show that I don't like.
Maybe that was his cameo.
Yeah, his cameo was the turds.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah, but overall I'm liking it. I think it really is interesting because it was just made for like the fans of the show, but being picked up by Amazon does like inherently put a more public spin on it. So like it is a weird line. Like, should they have tried to make it more accessible for new people? But like, yeah, it's also weird. Like, I get trying to translate like a 300-page novel into a mini series or a movie, include some rewrites. But how do you condense like 100 hours of content into a couple of episodes? That's that's a weird choice that I wouldn't want to be in charge of making.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I think there's a lot of pressure to really decide what's worth preserving.
Yeah, and the answer is every single improvised line by Taliesin Jaffe, and then just do whatever you want around everything
and
else.
Like maybe some of the action around Vax and Vex translates over, or maybe more so just Vax. But
yeah, it does. Anyway, so that's my big nerd culture thing that I'm engaging with right now.
It's definitely going to have a second season.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, unless the numbers are being actively skewed for no reason, it's been within the top 3 things streamed on Amazon for the last, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be shocked.
And honestly, that makes me happy for them.
Yeah.
I would like some origin episodes, since most of that didn't happen on the actual play for the audience. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be sick. Did you read Kith and Kin?
No. I think I got it for Christmas, and then Francis did this thing that he does where he tidied it up into a location that I've never seen it again. Yeah. So I think I own it, but I've never seen it.
It's somewhere with the wires.
It's with the wires.
It's with the wires. I got it on audio book, which is nice because they do their own characters.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I thought it was a graphic novel.
No, Kith and Kin is a novel.
Oh, I didn't actually know about this.
Yeah. And I gotta say, Laura Bailey does, because there's a part of it where it's all the way back when they're kids, and Laura Bailey does a baby Vex voice that is so cute.
Oh, I bet she does.
It's very cute.
Well, I think that on the whole for the show, I've definitely been, I know this is stupid because they do their own voices. I've heard hundreds of hours of them doing these voices, and they're professional voice actors, but I feel like Liam has really stolen the show for me, for character acting.
He stole the show
for me.
Yeah. No, I think that he's got probably the strongest characterization. I think that I would still get him if I had not seen the show.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I fully get that.
All
I
right.
also think it's wonderful how much they put into Pike, because she didn't really get all that much during that part of the show, and they filled in the blanks for her.
Yeah, I get more Pike from this show than I did from watching it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I also just want to say, I don't think it would be that hard to rewrite things around Tiberius, because my recollection was that when he was on the show, he was always just in his room.
He was just in his room.
Yeah.
Tinkering.
Yeah.
Playing with his little potions.
Yeah.
Being a misogynist. That's...
I thought you were going to say massage therapist, because when you said potions, my voice said my voice, my head said potions and lotions. And then just from there,
Potions
I had
and
this whole
lotions.
narrative of him starting like this from home pyramid scheme, multi-level marketing business with potions and lotions.
That seems likely, honestly. Do you want to talk? Do you have any other nerd things you want to talk about?
I mean, I think that I could probably find a million things, but I think that I will leave those for other episodes.
Okay, good. I
Do you wanna
am
plug
going to talk
something?
about one
Yeah.
other thing, though, because it is my current show that I'm on right now. It's new. We're 4 episodes in, and it's called The Atomless, and it's the fucking best. It feels like a little bit of lightning in a bottle for me. It's like the fucking coolest project. And it's a space sci-fi. It's Starfinder.
I feel like that's starting to become your niche suddenly.
Suddenly,
Even
I'm
though
about space
we hate
now.
space.
I do. I don't like space. But this is a kind of space where I can be a rat person.
Okay.
So it's like, it's fantasy in space.
All right.
That's
That's the only way to do space, really.
Yeah, exactly. So it's me. I play Ike, a little rat person. Momo O'Brien plays a teenage mechanic with blue hair and a skateboard, a magic space skateboard. My friend Andre plays a sentient piece of garlic. This is a fucking amazing show. And then Noordan Ali plays an Ifrit, which are like almost like they're like horned creatures, but he has like lava under his skin, which is pretty fucking neat. And we're GM'd by Matt, who is so good, such a really like great narrative GM, and also has put in like hours and hours of time editing every episode into a fucking podcast.
Oh.
Like editing all of the gaps in our speech out, plus putting in like music and sound effects and like ambiance. He's like, I mean, normally I really prefer to tell people to like watch it because I think that all of us are really animated to watch, but he kicked ass at making it a podcast. So
did you pre-record it, or is it live and then he goes back and does it?
Oh, fucking pre-record it. It's
so much better.
Good. It's so great. We could just record whenever the fuck we want to. There's no set days. And we're backlogged on recording, so we can it's fucking great, honestly.
All right. Well, I am currently subscribing on iTunes. Well, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. I really like all of our characters, and I'm really, really invested. It's like I typically don't sign on for like endless or like, you know, ongoing campaigns. I like short shots or one shots or things like that. But like, yeah, I'm good and happy in this game. Like it's so good.
Pre-recording can also lend itself to like a seasons model, which is great.
Yeah. I think I have a feeling that Matt might have that in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my favorite. I'm really excited about it.
Well, I'm excited for you about it, and I'm excited to listen to it. I didn't realize it
I
was a podcast.
genuinely think you'll like it.
Yeah,
I really do.
Honestly, no part of me thinks I'm not going to like it. I also genuinely think I'm going to like it. I've just been completely off the internet for 4 months, so I feel like I'm hearing about so many exciting new things.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to fight now?
Yeah.
First episode back.
Yeah.
Let's just fist fight.
I'm sweaty, so let's just fight.
Yeah, mom spaghetti. Let's do it.
Can I tell you, this is not interesting for the viewers. A friend of mine on Instagram made a very funny reels about mom spaghetti today, and it made me laugh, and I don't know why I'm talking about it, because this is obviously not going to translate, but I'm going to figure out a way to send it to you.
All right, so we have done this exactly once before, and we are bringing the format back.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be a versus episode.
I love the format, but it's been difficult to come up with new concepts because we're usually on the same page about something. Or one of us is apathetic.
Yeah. But not today. Today.
So this
today,
is, yeah.
It's opinions time.
This is me picking a fight not just with you, but with all of your Twitter friends.
That's good.
Because that's just the mood that I'm in.
That's fine.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of talk lately. Like, let me really emphasize to our listeners who are not on Twitter how much of a weird little cult following Diana has established around werewolves.
Yeah.
And it has become this, like, Hufflepuff-esque hipster, I have to rep the underdog thing, where now it's just a given that werewolves are better than vampires, which is a fantasy world.
I love the idea that you think that I have actually influenced the greater cultural sway.
I think
Werewolves.
that people are really getting on board with this werewolf thing because they are chumps.
Because they're, what? Because they're simping?
Yeah. And we all know it's vampires. Hands down. But here we are, and now we're going to have this conversation.
All right, we're going to have to fight about it. Okay, so the fight, the versus, is vampires versus werewolves in a general overview sense. I know that you're also bringing up the vampires versus werewolves who is sexier.
Listen, I have a dry erase board here.
Okay.
I have 5 categories.
Okay.
One of them is fuckability, but I wasn't going to get to it first.
Okay, there is a dry erase board in front of us, listeners. I do want you to know it's very real.
Yeah.
What are the other categories?
All right. Fuckability.
Yeah.
Who would actually win in a fight?
Okay.
The quantity of media.
Oh, that's unfair, but okay.
Powers. And MVPs.
VPs, what is that?
MVPs.
Oh, MVPs. Okay.
All right. Do you have any other categories to propose in defense of werewolves?
No, those categories are good.
Okay.
I feel solid about those categories.
All right.
I think werewolves lose and in one of those categories.
I think werewolves win in one of these categories.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay.
I can't wait to find out which one they win in.
All right, so here's where we're starting. Powers.
Is where?
Powers.
Powers?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome powers. I don't know what do you mean? Werewolves can turn in to fucking wolves.
Uh-huh.
They get to turn into, in most cases, both a full wolf form and a hybrid wolf-man bipedal cool fuck 'em up guy form. That's awesome. They also get heightened senses. They are like just generally warmer, which is cool. And they all just happen to kind of look a little puppyish, which is a neat little side effect.
Okay, so all I'm hearing is that they turn into dogs. What do you mean by warmer?
They get a higher body temperature.
Do you mean
werewolves
that they literally have fur?
No, I mean that like canines, they have a
Oh.
naturally higher body temperature. So like, whereas you and I rest comfortably at a 98.6, your average werewolf has a comfortable resting healthy temperature of like a 100.3.
And you would call that a power.
I call that
Okay.
I do. I think so.
Okay.
I think that if you're looking, I think, and we'll get to this when we circle around to fuckability, but I think that it just makes you a really good cuddle partner So I think that in ways is a superpower.
Okay. All right. So here are the powers just off the top of my head that vampires have.
Yeah.
The ability to turn into a wolf. The ability to turn... Yes, they can.
They do
The ability to turn into a bat.
That one I'll give you.
Immortality.
Mm-hmm.
Heightened senses.
Yeah.
Mind control.
Creepy and weird and gross.
The power of flight.
I will say, all right, werewolves
Super
also do
strength.
have regeneration.
Okay. All right. Regeneration. Thank you for reminding me of that vampire power. Sexy teeth.
Werewolves have canines. They're not. I don't know that that's
A human penis.
I'm sorry. Werewolves are human most of the time.
That is true. And more to the fact that werewolves have no control over the timeline of their powers. They are just perioding.
I would call it broody. They have a homegrown inbound angst.
They do. And I don't want to refer to perioding as any kind of sort of emotional dysregulation. I guess I just mean to say it's something that happens to them once a month that they have no control over. So they're not going to like use their powers to help you in a situation. You just got to hope it's a full moon.
But unless they have the heightened senses thing, they could help you with that.
I guess.
You got to track down a cookie at 2 a.m.
Yep.
You know the guy.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
the werewolf
So
guy.
anything else for powers?
Okay, so regeneration I had forgotten. And werewolf stories, sometimes they're immortal, sometimes they're just like super hard to kill. So I can't really say definitively that they have immortality.
Yeah.
But you know, extreme resistance to death would be one.
So I'm going to say that powers is a wash for vampires. I'm writing it on the dry erase board. All right, so I've won 1 out of 5. Quantity of
next.
media.
All right. Quantity of media is the one that I think, well, all right. I think that sincerely just in quantity, vampires take it, obviously. You've got more movies.
Are you
and more TV
implying
shows.
that in quality, vampires don't take
in
it?
quality, I absolutely think, because, like, I mean, which vampire movies are the good ones?
Don't turn this around on me. Make a strong case for your own animal. I want you to give me an example of good werewolf media that isn't relying on a werewolf backseating a vampire.
Okay, we've got Ginger Snaps. We've got Trick or Treat. The only good plot line is Anna Paquin in fucking Trick or Treat. It's the only reason I watched that movie. I could just watch all of her scenes compiled into their own movie. Fuck everything else in that movie. I would say Being Human definitely counts, because even though there is a vampire in that, they are equal storylines. Ghost, vampire, werewolf, equal storylines.
I don't know if that one counts.
All right. I think it does.
Okay.
Because it is a shared ensemble cast, but there is a vampire in it. Do only movies and TV count?
No.
Well, good, because I just finished playing The Wolf Among Us, and it was fucking awesome. I hate that I only just played it for the first time just now, and it's based on Fables, the comic book. Main character, fucking werewolf.
Fair.
Yeah, it's really good.
So that's another one for vampire.
Not until I hear you say with your whole chest what good vampire media is out there.
This is just so you can try to poke holes in what good is. but I wasn't out here poking holes in ginger snaps.
I'm not poking holes. I just want to hear you say it. That's
all right. I mean, all I'm going to do is go to the Wikipedia. There's hundreds.
Yes, there's hundreds.
Okay. Blade. Just rewatched the Blade movies. So good. Buffy. Don't care. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Dracula, a classic. So important. From a literary perspective.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's perfect. You know, what do we have? We have Nosferatu. An old movie.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, Blackula came up. That's not one of the ones that I'm saying. We have Interview with a Vampire. Hello. I was going to totally skip on all the Anne Rice cultural influence. Do you know how sexy Queen of the Damned is? It's a sexy movie.
Queen of the Damned is sexy. That's true.
I don't have to do a good job. Underworld. Let's talk about the Underworld franchise.
The Underworld also has werewolves. Rise of the Lycans was probably the best movie in that series.
That's totally fair. I haven't watched The Vampire Diaries, and I don't give a fuck about it. But
The Vampire Diaries also is a hybrid
no.
vampires and werewolves.
No. There is a difference between werewolf media and vampire media with werewolf sprinkled on top.
I know that. And that, you're right, and it irritates me. And I think it's just because the culture is so wrapped up in the problematic sexual attraction to vampires.
Okay. I think that the media at large has a tendency to replicate things that it thinks are safe, and vampires have proven to be safe moneymakers. So, maybe they're not going out on a limb and sponsoring werewolf content in the same way that we would like to see. So I think the argument can be made that it is a safe form of entertainment that people are going to like, it's going to be popular, but that doesn't necessarily make it superior.
Yeah. I agree.
And yet, for the category that I chose to title quantity of media and not quality, I win. What are your werewolf MVPs? Who's the Dracula of werewolves?
Ooh, okay. It's tough for me to pick one.
You can pick 5.
I can pick 5?
Yeah,
okay.
I imagine it as like a Power Rangers team of the best werewolves.
I do think that Josh Levison from Being Human, best werewolf, favorite werewolf. I think the Howling werewolf, I forgot
about the Howling.
Forget the name there. I think genuinely Anna Paquin's werewolf in Trick or Treat for sure. I'm gonna say Bigby Wolf from The Wolf Among Us for sure. Now that I have seen the full story and have actually witnessed with my eyes his full werewolf transformation, it's probably the most badass. And I think I do have to give Alcide Herveau a good vote for Werewolf MVP.
Do I know who that is? Yes, I do.
You probably yeah. That's True Blood.
Oh yeah.
Werewolf. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, ultimately, the point I'm obviously going to try to make here is that in terms of breaking through, all of these are small fries, right? Like, all you've got is the Wolfman for surface level, full saturation recognition.
And Teen Wolf?
Yeah, you can put Teen Wolf. All right, here's your basketball team. This is your basketball team. I don't know how many people are on a basketball team. 7? 9?
I don't know.
4?
I
How
just
many
know that
people are
being
on
a
the
werewolf
court?
makes you very good at basketball.
It's true. It's true. Well,
I
team
should.
vote-
Can I add that to powers?
Yes, good at basketball because the jumping.
Good at basketball.
Absolutely. Then there's a little bit of like a spidey sense sometimes, right? Like a
I think that goes with heightened senses.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying in
Yeah.
terms of like catching the ball.
Oh yeah. Yes.
All right, so this is your basketball team. But none of them, like, no one's excited about getting them on baseball cards. Or basketball cards. Are there
I'm
basketball
sorry.
cards?
Are you saying that people really want Edward Cullen on a baseball card?
Yeah. I didn't have him on my team, but sure.
Okay. Your MVPs, please.
My MVPs, who is going to make the most money on their team of sports? This makes sense.
Yeah.
I have to tell you that so that you know it makes sense.
I really like this because it really illustrates to me. First of all, I just want to let everyone know that Wikipedia tells us that werewolves are the working man's the working man's cryptid, and I think that this is really selling.
I think that's
that.
pretty offensive. Who the fuck wrote that? Somebody go edit that.
Somebody says that they're the working class monster. Which I think is fucking hilarious.
I think that's offensive. It's pure physicality, but that doesn't mean it's like a blue collar monster.
Yeah, it does. The werewolves are the bootstrap monsters.
That's bullshit. All right. We got
Okay.
Count Dracula.
From what media?
From all media. Across all time.
We also have Josh Hartnett, right? That's his fucking
Yes,
name? I forgot
that's
about
the actor's
yeah.
name, yes. Still not
Yeah.
recognizable. Like Count Dracula. Who doesn't know who Count Dracula is? You show me a picture of a Dracula, 99.9% of the world population is going to look at that and say, that's Count Dracula in English.
Do you know what?
What?
I know Count Dracula. How many people have actually read Dracula?
Read Dracula, maybe not, but familiar with the storyline.
Sure, but
Also, vampires put Transylvania on the map. What have werewolves
That
done?
is true.
Nothing. Okay. Nosferatu.
Yeah. No, do you want to talk about Nosferatu?
No.
Do you want to talk about that other ugly motherfucker? And you want to say to me
He's poopy.
that people want to pay money for Nosferatu? That is, I think we need to talk about the fact that no Nosferatu media is being made anymore. No one's remaking Nosferatu because vampires have been remarketed as sexy and hot.
Yeah.
I think I would respect them more if there was more Nosferatu going around.
Well, 30 Days of Night vampires, pretty cool, not fuckable. They're on my team.
They were pretty hot, I think.
That's
Some
a
of
you
them.
thing. I would think that they weren't marketed as fuckable, though.
They were not marketed as such.
Marceline. super
Also,
cool.
Josh Hartnett was in that.
Yeah, but he was a vampire, and I watched an interview with him where he said he enjoyed being a vampire for 30 seconds in that movie more than he enjoyed the entire series of being a werewolf in
He did not say that. Fucking libel.
If we're talking about True Blood, obviously Eric Northman.
Eric Northman, who had to literally get amnesia for us to think that he was hot.
But we did.
Though we did. But that was what it took. We literally had to erase his memory.
Yeah.
In order for us to even like him.
There's people on this planet that I would have to get amnesia to think they're hot.
Yeah, one of them is Eric Northman.
No. I think he's hot and I'm regular. Blade. So cool. Blade's really solid.
Yeah,
If
Blade,
If you
Blade,
haven't
I have no
rewatched those
arguments.
movies lately, you should rewatch them.
Yeah.
All right, that's my basketball
right.
team. So I win.
That's it?
Well, I could keep going, but it feels like, like I'm just dunking you over and over.
You're not.
I am.
You got one dunk.
I got 3 slam dunks that I'm making ticks on my board for all my dunks.
All right. What's the next category?
Fuckability.
Fuckability? It's werewolves, baby. I'm sorry. Vampires. Allegory for disrespecting your consent. They only exist to be that is their whole point. They have mind control powers. You can't trust them. All of the things that are the unsexiest. They're cold. They fucking sleep during the day. You have to have sex during the day and not at night. What is sexy about that?
Why do you think they're having sex when they're asleep?
That's their nighttime.
They're awake in the nighttime.
Yeah, but like,
but you're asleep.
Yeah.
So you're not going to modify your schedule for the vampire, is what I'm hearing.
Or you're expected to. You're expected to just be awake all night and go to sleep during the day. Fucking hell on earth. You're never going to have a social life with them. Talk like
You're right. There's nothing going on
example.
At night. Not a social time.
A+ example of just ruining your life for a toxic partner who does not respect you and doesn't see you as human because they're immortal and can mind control you and has to literally drink your blood to survive. Boo. Terrible. Unsexy. Also, they're cold. Did I say that already?
I think cold.
They're very
cold.
cold.
is a strong argument.
Yeah.
I'm going to say fur. Also not appealing.
You don't have to fuck them on the one day of the month.
Yes, you do. That is the day that they're a werewolf. That's
they're
the
a
day.
werewolf all the time.
No, they're not.
They're a wolf one day a month. They're a werewolf all the time.
No. They're human.
Avalon.
Except during a full moon.
Are we still bisexual if we're in a relationship with a man?
That is totally different.
I'm arguing that it's not.
I think that while they are occupying a physical form that is completely humanoid, you cannot call them a werewolf.
They are still a werewolf. They're still going to be a wolf in a couple of days. And they still got things like those heightened senses and that hot body temperature.
I mean, they're usually pretty ripped once they're werewolves.
Yeah, they're usually real ripped.
Which isn't like, necessarily hot, but I guess it could be.
Yeah. And also the whole they still know what it's like to be human thing. I think that's a pretty good plus in a fuck partner.
I think that werewolves are typically portrayed as being hypermasculine, whereas vampires are typically somewhat effeminate.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
So then I would argue that vampires are gay.
I would argue that
I think that they're more of a queer, fluid character.
I would argue that media has done a bad job at queer baiting with vampires and not really giving us what we deserve.
What do we deserve?
From them? Gay vampires.
Oh, do we
like
not have
lots
gay
of them.
vampires?
No, the closest thing we have really is Lestat, and he's only imaginary gay.
I don't know what imaginary gay means, but it sounds like you are canceled. What's imaginary gay, Diana?
It means that it means that he's gay coded, I think, and we project that onto him, but we don't actually really get any of that from the movie.
I don't expect us to actually know the answer to this because there is a lot of content in Anne Rice's vampire world, but from my understanding, Anne Rice is super horny, so I do feel like it's probably canon that he has sex with men as well as.
Oh, probably. I never read the books.
I didn't either.
So
I
I'm
just know that she's
on.
so horny.
Yeah, she's very horny.
And that's why she chose to write about vampires and not werewolves.
because it is a story that lets women in a more repressed time imagine a sexuality that does not require them to break their chastity.
That's correct.
Because they are the unwilling victim, but they love it.
Yeah.
It's basically consensual non-consent for the 1800s. That's what vampire media is.
That's true. And I would hope that we had gotten beyond that.
Yeah.
In, options for exploring our sexuality. But I do think that is a valid option for exploring one's sexuality.
Sure.
I don't want to be here kink shaming, Diana. People who get off on that. It would be nice to have some different flavors of vampire. I agree. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So if you had
supportive werewolf boyfriend.
So we're talking about fuckability.
Yeah. I think it's fuckable to be supportive.
I think it's fuckable. But it's not like the hottest thing.
Oh no. Okay.
If you had to have sex for 31 days in a row with a vampire and with a werewolf, what are you choosing?
31 days in a row?
Yeah.
You know what? I have zero problem saying this out loud. I choose 30 days of human sex with a werewolf and 1 day with sex with a full-on werewolf versus 31 days of cold, clammy, creepy vampire sex any day.
Does it make a difference for you if we're talking about bipedal werewolf versus a wolf?
Yeah, but it is it is a given that when I say werewolf, we're talking about a literal werewolf, not that's their hybrid form, not the wolf form. That'd be silly.
I think what makes sense is during the waxing and waning full moon, you're a bipedal wolf. But the full moon proper, you are a full wolf. You're a wolf. There's an L in
just
that
go
somewhere.
wolf. Yeah, I do like that. I'm not opposed to that as an idea. Avalon, I just think you would get so tired of fucking a vampire so quickly.
Well, I mean, they can do so much cool stuff. They can fly around.
Do you really want to do all that work? You want to fly around?
For like 1 month. I'm not talking about a marriage. I want the supportive boyfriend for the marriage.
Yeah.
We're just talking about
a
one night, 1 month stand.
1 month stand with a vampire.
Yeah.
And then supportive relationship with a werewolf.
And the other thing, too, is part of this sort of, like, admittedly toxic vampire sexuality is that when you are self-inserting into a dalliance with a vampire, you're always, like, special in some way.
Yeah, you're the chosen one.
You're always the chosen one. It's for their, I don't know, repressed romantic drive. Which is a great loophole because it taps into what little humanity they have left and it means they're not going to bite you. Whereas werewolves, when they are werewolves, have no control. They completely...
That is not necessarily true.
All their loved ones are at risk.
That's not necessarily true. That is true in some werewolf lore, but a lot of werewolf lore does suggest that werewolves, or shifters in general, have, a piece of their humanity when they are shifted. They can't control that they shift.
I think
but it doesn't mean that they're not in there.
I think that's the minority of content.
I'm struggling. There's a lot of it that implies that they have control. Or at least some control, maybe less control.
I think what usually happens is they are out of control. They are violent. They are victimizing people. And then there's one woman who has to put herself at risk because she sees the good in him. She has to, like, really try to pull it out of him. And I think that's also a toxic narrative. And so usually she is spared.
What werewolf story are you referring to?
Wolfman.
That is the only one.
OG. Also, I feel like being human didn't, like...
Nope. No.
There's not, like...
Being humans and...
There's not, like, the one person they love that keeps them from being, like, totally primal.
No, in fact, the one person they love helps them to accept being a werewolf the most.
She sucked. She was toxic. She was trying to get him to eat people.
What?
Didn't she eat an entire construction crew? It's been a lot of years.
That's the vampire.
No. The werewolves definitely eat people who are building a house.
The female werewolf in the story eats the guy who was building the house, who was her abusive ex, who literally lit her on fire.
Okay, yeah, I did.
And she
I did
ate
forget
him.
that part. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, the storyline in Being Human is cool because it's one of my favorite werewolf stories because the conflict for the werewolf character is not liking being it and eventually having to find a way to just be okay with it and like feel balanced and at peace with himself and who he is with all of the pieces instead of, hating one part and not the other.
I didn't mention What We Do in the Shadows, but I know it's very popular, so I just want to say that because I haven't seen it.
Have you watched it? It's very good.
I saw the movie and I thought it was okay.
The show's better.
And then I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, the show's way better.
But let's pretend I watched it and that it's part
there's
of my
not really
argument.
werewolf content in it. There's like I think at some point, I'm not finished with it, but at some point I think there's like a little like werewolf scene, and they had a werewolf version of the show in the works apparently.
Huh.
And I
Nobody
think
wanted to
because
watch
of pandemic,
Yeah.
it got canceled.
Sure,
Yeah,
because of the
nobody-
pandemic.
God damn it.
All right. My final category was who would win in a fight.
This is the only one I feel vampires win. And it's because you have all your powers 100% of the time and we have them one day a week.
No, it would
one day a
definitely
month.
be during the 1 day a week.
During the one day a week?
And I think werewolves take it.
Oh, interesting.
I think that
Okay.
in the fight that's playing out in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that show on, I think, Discovery
You're gonna
Channel?
have to be more specific.
Where it was like, hypothetically, what two apex predators, like if they fought, who would win? And then it was like a CGI rendition of like a tiger versus a shark.
Yes. Yes.
All right, well, that's what's happening in my brain right now. So I'm imagining vampires start strong because of speed.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of slicing and dicing for the werewolf. But eventually the werewolf anticipates where a vampire is going to move really quick and hits it so hard that then he's down and it's over and he can't totally recover.
I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying that vampire's super quick, but werewolf just needs one punch.
I think once he gets like a really good punch in, then vampire's too stunned to really fight back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think there's lots of scenarios in which werewolf wins, like it's on a full moon or during the day on any random day. But then I think there's lots of scenarios where vampire wins, which is during the night 30 nights out of the month.
I mean, I think werewolves are still superhuman.
Yeah. You just only think they're werewolves
wolves.
one day a month.
Yeah. I don't know. There's holes in it. All right.
Amazing. All right. I'm going to give you
okay.
a fuck, marry, kill for 3 werewolves. And I want you to give me a fuck, marry, kill for 3 vampires. Can we do that?
Yes, but can I interrupt you real quick just with the fighting scenario and say that what would their specials be? Because in my mind, werewolf special is like being able to call other werewolves because there's the power of the pack.
The pack.
And that is also pretty boss.
Yeah. Also, I was thinking like a suplex. Can you imagine like a werewolf like?
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely imagine it.
Okay.
All right, who are we fucking?
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna give you Alcide Herveau, Anna Paquin, Hot Red Riding Hood, and
I feel like it's gonna be the being human guy.
I can't decide if I want it to be him or the being human girl, but yeah, let's go with Josh Levison.
Do the guy just because I don't remember her that well. Clearly. Yeah. I clearly misremembered something pretty huge. Okay, so I'm marrying being human.
Okay.
I'm fucking Anna Paquin.
Solid.
Yeah, and I'm killing the other guy.
Yeah.
Because he's boring. And, like, okay looking.
Yeah, I feel the
and, like, a little, maybe, like, a little toxic.
He's just, like...
He's, like, not the most toxic, but he is.
I'm so not toxic, but I am a little bit.
Yeah, he's a little possessive. And I think the being human guy is very sweet. Yeah, he's definitely my favorite character on that show.
Yes, mine too.
Yeah.
All right, give me the vampires.
Okay.
To judge.
I mean, there's like so many.
God.
Let's do. God. And you know, I'm having a hard time thinking of any that are likable. All right, we're gonna do Eric Northman.
Okay. I'm gonna assume you mean Eric Northman with amnesia.
Sure.
It's the only way.
Whatever it takes. Actually, no. We're going to do Pam.
No, regular.
We're going to do Pam.
Oh, Pam.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because I remember our True Blood episode.
You did something here, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say Blade because, like, I really like Blade. And...
Okay.
Ooh. Aaliyah.
Who?
In Queen of the Damned.
Oh, the Queen. Oh, God, I forgot her name. Ooh, okay. I marry Pam. She's got lots of... I feel like she takes a long time to warm up to, but she's got lots of good, like, loyalty and kinship, and has the coolest outfits. I would fuck would I survive fucking the Queen of the Damned?
If that's how you would prefer this hypothetical scenario to play out, then yes.
Okay,
it's up to you.
Okay. No. I fuck Blade, kill Queen of the Damned.
Yeah, I think that's the responsible choice.
Yeah, I don't think I survived that interaction.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
And honestly, just like for the good of the world, that seems like the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know, what's so funny is I was really reluctant to do this because I got my ass kicked in the last verses. Even though I shouldn't have, I just was like I didn't bring my A game. I didn't even bring like a B game.
I think I won that.
Yeah, you definitely won that. I don't know about fair. I believe we had a poll on the internet. And the internet decided I was the fuck up. Not the movie. And then I thought, there's no way that I'm going to win with werewolves because you have so much werewolf momentum and you have so much at stake in defending them. But now I know that once this podcast airs, you're going to lose everything.
It's over for me. I won't have a thing to stand on anymore.
Yep.
No.
And that's got to be stressful.
No, I think I won.
Okay.
I feel very confident that I won.
Well, I look forward to the poll.
I look forward to it too. Avalon, what are you doing after this?
Oh, man. I think just hanging out with Robin, cooking some dinner.
Nice. What are you making?
I don't know yet. I haven't defrosted
Sweet.
anything, so probably nothing too exciting.
Good. I'm going to play Jackbox games.
Nice. I'm going to think about working out, but I'm not going to.
Don't do it. Sounds terrible. Sounds like a good way to attract a toxic vampire.
All right. If anybody's in a gym, it's a werewolf.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I like
Werewolves
that. I like
have
your evolution
himbo
towards
energy.
himbos.
Yeah.
It's been a surprising evolution.
Yeah, I like them. Big fan of dumb guys.
Meanwhile, I continue to stew in manipulative, effeminate.
I like them dumb and emotionally intelligent.
Nope. Not me.
That's the dream.
Yes.
I like that because I think that while that's been my evolution to what I'm drawn to, it's also what I'm hopefully evolving into.
You know,
as well.
I was going to say, like, yeah, absolutely. But I don't think that there's the dumbness there. Yeah. You're not, like, evolving away from common sense.
That's good. Okay. Great. Good.
Did you get new glasses that are very different than these glasses?
No.
I had a dream that you did.
Yeah, I got these glasses and then I crashed my bike and broke them and I fixed them with minifigure glue.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a dream that you got very square, kind of like crimson tortoiseshell acrylic frames, like thick frames.
I would probably like that.
Yeah,
I
you
might. I have to
looked
get another
cute.
pair this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll probably get a square frame, something or other. I like that these don't obscure my eyes.
Yeah. You need big ones, yeah.
But they are very, very feminine. And
True.
I would like a different pair for non-feminine days.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shape is like very cat eye, kind of like.
Oh yeah, it's like performatively feminine. These glasses,
that's
but
true.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to pick out other glasses so that it's like you can swap visually. You can
Yes.
swap how you're cueing.
I get like nerdy guy, thin circular wire frames.
Yes, I like Francis's nerdy professor kind of horn rimmed.
Oh, I don't know about those.
Yeah, I think that they would be a good choice. Something
Okay.
similar. Okay, well, goodbye, listeners.
Goodbye. You can find all of our Femsplained content either on patreon.com/Femsplained, Twitter, you can find us at FemsplainedCast, Instagram, you can find us at Femsplained Podcast, and you can check out superdillin.com/Femsplained to find the guest form and all of the different places where you can listen and connect with us.
Awesome. You can find and follow me, Avalon, at @A_CatAttack on both Twitter and Twitch.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and all the places at Super Dillin, and that is DILLIN.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your support. Bye.
Bye.